So I'm glad that you don't mind taking a few minutes here, kind of that we can have a kind of informal discussion. And just so you know, too, I am recording this, and with your permission, obviously, we'll upload this to YouTube with the
Sure.
same intent that others can view this and kind of get an understanding, both those who are participating and those who still would like to participate, given that the end deadline here would be July 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
so maybe, I mean, I've got a few questions, but if you want to just start on whatever you'd like to propose as far as
Exactly.
where the
There are,
idea came
yeah,
from and whatever you'd like to share. Yeah.
exactly. So basically, yeah, it's a big experiment. I just had this idea doing the dishes where usually I have my ideas. So just came to me. It's like, hey, why don't we just like let's try to make a book together? People, we already know each other in some kind of way, more or less, from the Facebook conversations or whatever, through Kirsten and Fair Languages. There are a lot of network threads already running back and forth. So I said, let's see if we do something like this, what will come out of it, or if something will come out of it. And like you said, what's going to happen? So this is really an experiment, and I'm very excited about this. Obviously, I'm having a lot of fun myself creating books, so I thought, why not do something with a few more people? And yeah, so as you see here, this little illustration, which I did one week ago or so, you should have this now on full screen. Um, we have a few stages here of this project. Basically, first we collect all of the materials. This is where we are at the moment until this will run until the 15th of July. And then we enter the editing phase, number 2. And we'll have to see how that will work out, because we might send the document back and forth, and various people might correct various things. So this might take a while, and we then can select a cover, publish the ebook version, and after that publish the paperback version. You could ask why first the ebook version and then the paperback version. I don't know. It's just I have been doing it like that for the last 1 or 2 years, and it's just a process that works very well. So I don't know. Okay.
Okay. And we've had discussions in the past, but just briefly, could you explain the services that you use to publish both your ebooks and paperback?
Right. So on this stage 4 here, we will basically first use Amazon's direct publishing, or Kindle Direct Publish, also known as KDP platform. The beauty of this is it will create a book which is consumable on all kinds of devices, from tablets to e-readers to mobile phones to whatever, you know.
Mhm.
This is pretty great, and they also offer us options to do free promotions. So I thought we could do something like this. Once the book is out, we can offer it for free for people to just download, share with their friends, and the paperback we will release through CreateSpace, which is also an Amazon-owned company. Yes, it's twice Amazon. There are also other services. I'm aware of that. And probably we will do this too in my own publishing stuff. I usually do it like this: first publish on Kindle, then publish the paperback through CreateSpace, and then I roll the book out as an ebook on all the other ebook stores.
Okay. And
Okay.
okay, so today is July 1st, and as you mentioned, the deadline, if there are any educators that still would like to participate, I'm assuming they still can do so as long as they try to adhere to the 15th of July deadline. Is that true?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. We have a sort of style sheet document, or a kind of template that people can fill out. Basically, the idea is to write a short story in English, in natural English. Something could really be anything, as long as it's sort of natural English, like the way you would talk on through a normal day, yeah. And to add some vocabulary and some questions. But I think if people are seriously interested, they could just, I don't know, leave a comment on this video or contact any one of us about this, and we'll walk them through the steps.
Okay, great. And just to get an idea, you started this process or this, I guess, the invitation, inviting others to participate, more or less, when did that begin? Do you recall?
It's a good question. I think it's been more than 1 month, right?
Yeah,
Do you remember?
from what I remember was 1 month, but I'm not sure if that's when if I saw the initial invitation or if you had been pushing it for some time before that, or
No,
I
this is
don't.
really a very casual project in a way. This is I no, it's when you heard about it, this is when I had the idea basically. So
Okay,
this
and
is nothing
I'm
premeditated, seriously. Please go
okay.
ahead.
So you didn't have really a predetermined number of entries that you were considering, or how do you feel about the number of entries that you have so far? Would
Mhm.
you like to have more? Um, what are your
Well,
thoughts
we'll
there?
have to we'll have to see. That's a good question. I think it's kind of nice that we work together as people who already know each other in some kind of way, because it's just easier to work with one another this way, because the technical stuff is already complicated enough, and organizing all of it. So it's kind of nice that we aren't too many people, I think. And we should get, I think, 5 stories to make this into something which could call itself a book.
Hmm.
So that it's not too skimpy in the end.
Right. Could you?
Um, I,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I wanted to show you all also some of the books that I've made, and to give you an idea a bit of length or how it will come out in the end. Okay?
Okay. Sure. Excellent.
Did you want to ask something?
Well, I did have a question, and maybe we can talk about it later, but I was curious about the editing process, if you
Right.
wanted to elaborate on that. But if you want to first talk about some of the other books first, we can talk about that later. It's up to you.
Well, I think that the editing process will actually be very important, and there are many tools and sort of platforms that promise collaborative document editing, as we all know. But there isn't really anything which sort of does everything that we would need to work on this collaboratively. So we might just end up sending the document back and forth to each other and just adding comments to it. Yeah. So it's not maybe the latest cutting edge, but I think it's the most solid way, so that we won't lose the styling or formatting along the way.
Right, because I would assume if we were to use, for example, Google Docs, that some of the formatting would be lost. Is that the
Exactly.
concern? Yeah.
That's an issue because let me just make this bigger, because uh, I'm a bit strict with the whole styling and everything, because we'll have to make sure that all of this comes out in the end in some kind of unique way, or unified way, I wanted to say. Yeah, that the headlines are all the same size, and that all of the devices displayed is in more or less the same way. And so it's really important that we keep the formatting somehow unified.
I haven't seen the other entries that the
Yeah,
others have been doing. Would it be because I'm just trying to work through how this would work, the editing process.
right.
Would it be a possibility to use, because I'm kind of partial to Google Docs just because it's open
Right,
and
right.
everyone can comment and there might
Hmm.
be some time savings there. But I'm wondering if it's possible to include the just the text part, or
That's
uh,
actually a good idea. We might just end
and then
up
do the
maybe,
formatting kind of at the
yeah.
end. I don't know if that would work or
It,
not.
yeah, that's a good idea. Google supports styles.
Hmm.
Basically, when I talk about formatting, I talk about styles, like heading styles,
Right.
for those who have worked with this before, right? So we would need some kind of way to retain all of these styles, that we don't lose them along the way, so we don't have to keep doing them again and again as we edit the document. So,
Exactly.
but that's good that you mentioned this. I will definitely check this out. What happens if we paste something into Google Docs, edit it, and then paste it out again if we keep all the formatting, meaning all the styles,
Right,
or if we will,
or if it does change, if it's
yeah,
minimal, right? If it's not a big time,
right, right.
concern, that to finalize the formatting at the end, kind of after all of the text itself is the way it should be. I don't know,
Exactly,
but
exactly, yeah.
yeah, something.
I mean, sort of the formatting in itself at this point is basically just a structure, yes.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
like in this template, let me see if I can quickly switch that. Um, we have these heading styles because they give the book a certain structure. Yeah, I hope
Hmm.
you can see
Right.
this here. This was the story that you sent in.
Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
so this one here, what is this? This is a heading 2, for example. So as you see on the left, it sort of builds as a table of contents already and a sort of bare
Sure.
bones structure. So I know that Google supports this with this Google Docs, but we'll have to see a bit whether they add some stuff with a copy and paste. But this is the nitty gritty. I will figure this out.
Right,
I'll
and
get back to you all.
if there aren't, this all depends on the length of the book as well. But if there were only, let's say
Right.
there were 5 stories, and
Hmm.
you maintain the format just as you have in this Open Office, and you were
Right.
to just copy and paste each individual story into a Google Docs, because that would be the editing part. I mean,
Right.
that would
Right.
be where we're basically looking and making changes to the text itself. So not so
You're
much, I would
right. You're
think, that the
right.
format, we wouldn't be making so
Hmm.
many comments about the actual format. That would be up to you as far as how you want to
Exactly. We could
display that,
just
right?
work
And
on the
then that
paragraphs
way,
themselves.
we
Yeah.
might
Sorry.
save time, all of us looking at all of the content, making comments, and then instead of individual files being sent, and then everybody taking a turn, and I don't know,
Exactly.
it's
That might get messy. Yes.
yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's something to think about, and
It's definitely good that you suggested this again. I thought about this sort of in the back of my mind, but you brought this to the fore again, and I think we'll have to try it like this because otherwise it will end up
Mhm.
getting lost somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and one last question here.
Sure.
How are you planning on presenting the authors in the book, or what would that
Hmm.
how will that look like, or what would that look like?
So there's the story, right? Each sort of author gets these, like, I think 4 sections in the book. There's the story itself, then there's the vocabulary, and there are some questions about the text, and then there's who's that?
Hmm.
There's this Benjamin,
Who
Mr.
is that?
Stewart. Yes. So each teacher gets like a profile, sort of, with a little biography, a photo, and a few links, like to the blog, etc.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So hopefully we can find a few more authors to participate. It would be nice to have a little bit more
Exactly.
involvement. And I know
Yeah,
that
we'll
we.
have.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say very quickly,
Mhm.
this is sort of just a test also. If we get this on its feet and running, um, we can do more of this, of course. Yeah, it's easier to get this organized in a little way. So if it works this time, we can build on this, I think, in the future.
Absolutely. And I know that we've been corresponding in Facebook. Is that the primary place where all of us have been communicating, or does it extend beyond Facebook as far as contacting other authors, and
So
what's
so far we have been inside there. Yes.
okay? All
Okay.
right. So once
Uh,
we upload this video, any links that you want to share, we'll include those in the description box below the video. So for those who are watching the recording, we'll have access to all the related links that we're talking about today.
Very good.
So
And another thing I also wanted to mention, what are you seeing exactly on the screen sharing now? You see just the open office or the full screen?
the full screen.
Okay, great, because I wanted to show you that you asked me how do the authors get presented. Um, on Amazon also, a book can have many authors, right? So this is also designed, this whole project, to give all of you some kind of an entry point into the Amazon infrastructure, to have your name up there and a book listed under your name. Yeah.
Okay.
So you see here, this person is like Ken Ludwig, so it would say by Benjamin Stewart, Sylvia, etc. So, and you can all then create author profiles for yourself on Amazon and link your blog to them, etc.
Are
So,
you displaying Amazon webpage right now?
yes, you can
Oh,
see that.
I can't see that. I still see your open office, but it
So
looks
you
like your
see,
whole.
probably I
Or maybe you can
just
cancel
shared this
this.
one window.
There we go. I see it now.
Yes, okay.
Okay. So
So you see
go ahead.
I'll just show you one of my books here. So you see here's the title of the book, and below you have various authors. So our book will
Okay.
have a variety of different author names then below here. And when
Great.
you click on one of these names, let's say you click on my name, then you would get a certain like profile that you can create where you see all the other books, the Twitter, etc. So
Great.
sort of to
And
give you
all
all a home there.
okay. And this book that we're talking about today, this collaborative effort,
Right.
this would also include an ISBN number. Is that correct?
Exactly, exactly. So it's a bit of a tricky question with ISBN. What does that mean in the ebook age? In how far is that important? And I don't really want to get into this because it's kind of boring. What what is important? The ebook will have an ASIN, which is sort of like an ISBN, which is an sort of identification number on Amazon, and the paperback will have a ISBN as well. Talking about the whole these details, I'm not sure this is the place right now because this will lead us sort of into all kinds of details and red tape. There will be an ISBN of some kind of way to give you the
Okay.
short answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. And for the published book, then, put it primarily.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay.
Um,
So where were we here? I wanted to show you maybe very quickly one of the books, one of the few of the books that I've built with the Amazon CreateSpace platform, meaning the
absolutely.
paperback.
Sure.
So let me just see, because I have the camera running here somewhere else. Just give me a second. If I turn this off here, and I should be able to call you here. Benjamin Stewart is where exactly? So now there should be two of me.
Yes.
Hello there.
Hello.
Okay, so these are the books that I've made so far with CreateSpace. These are all more or less small books, not that long. I don't know the stories. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly the words at the moment. But I guess this is what we'll get in the end, something. It's not a super huge book, right? But I think we should be able to create something in that size. So I hope you
No,
can
that
see the
gives us
spine somewhat, right?
it gives a
Ugh.
gives us a good idea about what it will look like here at the end.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then of course we'll have the Kindle edition, which will basically, if this is a Kindle, let's say, here's one of my detective stories with a little picture. So this is how it would appear on a Kindle. And we will have this as a version for mobile phones, but this will all happen automatically, so to speak. The main difference is between the ebook and the paper book, right? So this is why I say we'll first do the ebook version, and from there we can sort of build the paperback, because the ebook has a fluid formatting and the paperback is fixed. So once we have the dynamic thing ready, it's easy to just nail it down once we're happy with it.
Right.
That's the print
Talking
version.
about the images, you mentioned images. If authors are, I guess, if they own their own images, it's not so much of an issue. If they are to use other images found on the internet, are they to use images from, let's say, Creative Commons licensing, or what would you recommend as far as capturing images if they want to use that in their stories?
That's a good question. The best would really be if it's your own images. You know, if you could draw something or maybe, I don't know, do some digital art, even just a few scribbles. I always think that it gives some kind of personality instead of just taking some prepared stock photo, like they might be shiny and whatever, but also without any character. So I started doing these little illustrations for my detective stories. You can see this here. I really don't know how to draw, but I still enjoy it, so I still do it, and I don't know. I like it because it's just a bit of scribbles, and I make a photo of it and slap it onto the story, and just gives it some kind of analog feeling in all of this digital perfection age.
Right, and it puts a personal touch, I think, on your
Exactly.
own story, definitely.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I don't really have any other questions unless there's something else that you want to address. I think this kind of gives us a good overview about kind of the direction and
Yeah.
the background to how and why you wanted to introduce this project. I think it's very interesting, and I know I've personally enjoyed participating and collaborating with other authors, other teachers. I think just the process itself has also been very rewarding for me personally, I can say. So I'm glad that
That's cool.
you
I
came up
have.
with the idea. Yeah,
Thanks. I have one more thing before we wrap this up.
sure.
I wanted to give you all a sneak preview of the covers that I've been working on. And so, just to give you a little bit of an idea, I hope you can see this. So, this would be one approach. So, the working title for now is Learn Natural English Through Storytelling 5 Stories and Text for Intermediate Learners. Yeah?
Okay.
And I have here a little theme, sort of American theme. Then we have a bit of a British theme. And we have the theme based on the number 5, if we really end up with 5 stories in the end.
Right.
And something a bit more abstract. My wife says it reminds her of the UN or whatever. I'm not sure. So these are a few of the first ideas for the book cover.
Very nice.
And I'm going to close it. So you haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen
This
anything.
discussion.
No, this discussion didn't happen. It didn't take place.
Exactly. We'll have to talk about that once we finally have all the stories. So
Exactly, right.
just to give you a bit of an idea.
And maybe you'll change that number from 5 to maybe 6 or 7 or some other
3,000
number.
or something. Yes.
Very good, Andre. Well,
Okay.
I appreciate your time. I know you're
Sure.
busy, and but we'll be in touch. We'll
Yeah, it
upload
was a
this
good
video.
idea to just dive in and do this spontaneously. So hopefully all the other collaborators are watching this. And well, I wish you all a nice day and a good start into the new week.
Excellent, Andre. Thank you very much. Take care. We'll be in touch, and
You
we'll
too.
see everybody later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.